What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. I didn't plan on making any video. Usually, I use my computer to record videos, but I just want to say something right quick, man, before I take my ass to bed. I'm looking at ESPN, and I'm just curious to see what they had to say about tonight's game. And it was Tim Legler and forget the other, what was his name? Is it Scott Van Pelt? I can't remember his fucking name. They're talking about the game between the Jazz and the Lakers. And the spinning that these motherfuckers do, man, is just unfucking believable. Instead of talking about the fact that the Lakers really do miss Anthony Davis, right? They lessen Davis's departure or his absence by saying, well, they miss Davis and Schroeder. And I'm not trying to sell Schroeder short, but what the fuck has he ever won? Does anybody ever talk about Schroeder as one of the top 2 or 3 point guards in the NBA, top 5? Is he on anybody's real list? Get the fuck him, okay? This is the thing that was getting me. Now, Utah has been playing very well as of late, extremely well. And you give them credit because they probably, to anybody that really watched basketball, were the favorites to win tonight. But these motherfuckers just gave the Laker fans a talking point by saying, well, the way they've been playing, the way they're moving the ball and the team cohesion, it kind of reminds me of prime Warriors. Get the fuck out of my face. Shut the fuck up, okay? Shut it up, okay? Enough with this capping bullshit. The Lakers are struggling. Just say it. There's nothing fucking wrong with saying it. Why can't you just say that? The Lakers are struggling. Well, I think it's more that, Utah's just playing well rather than the Lakers are struggling. Oh, we can't dare say that because they're a product that we have to push. And we can't really speak what we really say because we're robots. We're programmed to say certain things on here. Shit is ridiculous, man. And I'm going to say this. About LeBron James, and shout out to Legendary because she said this in my community and I agree with her. Aside from the fact, like I said before, that he is slowly aging, okay? He's been able to put up great numbers. But he's still 36 years old, man, okay? And the older you get, your stamina begins to decrease, okay? You get tired. And this happens with everybody. I remember the Bulls, okay? Jordan in his prime used to be able to have so much energy. He had such great reservoirs of energy in his 20s and very, very, very early 30s. He could go full out 40 minutes offensively and give you maximum effort defensively. And occasionally he could even run the offense. When he came back after the baseball thing, he was no longer the same guy energy-wise. That's why his game was more conservative. He didn't expend as much energy defensively. Now, don't get me wrong, he still played great defense. But in those series where he was pressed to play more defense, because Pippen used to guard the more serious offensive threat, Pippen and Ron Harper. But when he did take on the defensive challenge of a number one primary option, offensively. It affected his scoring. But Mike's role was more or less to score. Roy Harper to defend, Pippen to defend and to score and help offensively. But oftentimes, Pippen, as he got older, his offense suffered because he was playing such great defense into his mid-30s. But I remember that last year with Chicago, I was seeing Jordan resting on defense. That's something I never saw him do before. Resting on defense. I don't, not to the extent that he was doing that year. So I've seen this before. All great players. Father Time catches up with them. I don't enjoy saying this. I don't enjoy seeing what I'm seeing. But I remember LeBron James, his first stint with Cleveland, when he could dominate you in so many different ways. Physically, because of his strength and athleticism. I mean, his athleticism when he was with Cleveland, the first stint, was phenomenal. I used to watch Cleveland and watch LeBron. I'm like, this guy has all the tools to be the greatest player of all time. But in my opinion, the one thing that holds LeBron James back as he's gotten older is, to some level, this is my opinion, I could be wrong, at some level, he has self-doubt about himself in certain situations. That's the only problem I have with him. You know what I'm saying? And other stuff. But on the court, things get in his head sometimes. His confidence in certain situations. Down the stretch, shooting free throws, whether he should be aggressive offensively in situations where he could possibly fail, and it's not a high percentage. He plays percentages, you know what I'm saying? But the Lakers, last year, the way they had things with LeBron at the point and AD down low, and AD was thriving, and LeBron James was playing very well last year. This year, the Lakers aren't quite the same. And I'm looking at things now, and of course, the league has its favorites and is going to do everything it can without being too obvious about it. But then again, we watch the Super Bowl, don't know. Maybe they will be obvious about it. They're going to obviously try to help the Lakers. But I'm looking at some of these teams, man, and the Lakers are ripe for an upset. They're very ripe for an upset. And the Lakers cannot afford, in a 72-game season, to keep losing games and fall further down and then hope when AD comes back that he stays healthy. Number one, I hope he does. But you don't want to lose too much ground. One thing the Bulls did in '98 that I can give them credit for, they did start off poorly without Pippen. They started off 9-7 at one point. But then, by the time when Pippen came back, they were 24-11 and had the best record in the Eastern Conference. So they got their shit together, even without Pippen's 17 points and 7 rebounds and 5 assists, whatever the fuck it was he was doing. And Jordan was doing everything. You know, he was running the fucking offense, even though he hadn't done that in fucking a decade. And, he really didn't have much offensive help other than Kukoc. And Kukoc was missing some games, if I remember correctly. But Mike still was putting up 29 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. And that's why he won the MVP his last year, because he held down the fort when Pippen wasn't there. Now, his efficiency went down, but that's fine, because defenses were scheming on him. But he held down the fort. And for LeBron to win the MVP, he has to hold down the fort while AD is out. I'm not saying they got to be the same team. They're not going to be the same team. But he has to try and hold down the fort. So that's all I got to say. Tell me what you guys think.